I'm always unprepared.
You know, putting the band back together.
Ma'am, you got to understand, this is a lot bigger than any domestic problems you might experience.
Would it make you feel any better if you knew that what we're asking Matthew to do is a holy thing?
You see, we're on a mission from God.
Hey, Aaron, someone grabbed me at the show the other night, and
About the band.
he's like, "I really like your shirt." I really like your shirt. And I'm like, "Yeah, it's a podcast." And he goes, "I just like your shirt, man." You didn't want to hear nothing about the podcast.
I see.
106 miles to Chicago. Got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
I just want to know, could he pass a sobriety test?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
He was all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, he was behind us on the way out to the car, and I could hear him talking about the shirt again to his buddy.
Lord works in mysterious ways.
Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Strike up the band sound. So I've been talking to Patrick Shipley. He's on the line here. He's muted at the moment, but there he is. He's got his tinfoil hat on. Patrick Shipley from Faithhead. And every once in a while, we get texting about conspiracy theories. And I went, "Would you like to come on and do a conspiracy theory show with us?" I think that would be fun.
My life as it should be.
And I don't know. There's stuff going on lately. Here's my feeling on conspiracy theories is if they just tell us the truth, show us the video, give us the audio, whatever it is, there wouldn't be any conspiracy theories. And my example is the Paul Pelosi getting hit in the head with a hammer. Tons of conspiracy theories going around about that thing until you actually got to see the video and saw how violent it was. And I felt bad for that guy. Paul Pelosi, not the criminal. Well, the criminal.
Don't show how he got in the house.
I don't know. Do you remember that, P-Funk?
I thought he was invited in, or he broke in through a window.
Yeah, he
Something
broke in through a window.
Yeah, I think that was it.
Because once you saw the video, you could tell he was not invited in, and Paul Pelosi was kind of like just trying to keep everything calm. I think he knew that, hey, there should be some people watching the house, but just like in the case of Jeffrey Epstein, maybe the cameras weren't working for 30 minutes or something like that. They just weren't showing up.
No, there's like two stories there, and people were running through with the one, and it's like, oh, he broke in through a window.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing is all the theories could have been just done away with had you released the video. I don't know what the big deal was about releasing the video. And by the way, as Americans, don't we have a right to know what's going on at the house of the third in line to the presidency?
Not their private house. I would agree. Not their private house.
All right. Well, you and I would disagree on that because I think that if you're that high up, and something like this goes on at something violent like this goes on at the house of the third in line, that I don't know. I think we kind of got a right to know.
Well,
I get that.
Didn't they eventually?
Eventually, after people were going on forever about it, but they really didn't want to. What's your opinion? What's your opinion on that thing?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Well, it's just like all things that involve politicians. If their mouths are talking, I'm assuming they're lying. For the most part, I kind of, it was kind of weird. The whole thing was just weird. Like you said, they just didn't come out outright and say things. And then, you had the whole, he's a, homosexual or bisexual, whatever it is. And, the guy, the perpetrator himself was, he was just your classic, you could say he fit the whole, conspiracy mold of somebody you would want to get involved in the situation.
For sure.
So he was like an activist and this, that, and the other thing, living in like his van or something.
Yeah.
Down by the river.
Yeah, out there in Berkeley. Now, I don't know if you've ever been to Berkeley, Patrick, but
No.
you know, even the normal people there are a little nutty. Okay, and it's right outside of San
Ashbury.
Francisco, huh?
Is that not here? Didn't he? Wasn't that near Haight Ashbury?
No, it's on the other side of the bridge from
Oh,
San
okay.
Francisco. So, I mean, literally on the once you cross the bridge, you almost drop into Berkeley. However, from the time you exit the bridge to the time you get to Berkeley, because of traffic, it'll probably take you about 45 minutes, even though it's only about 5 miles. And that's not a
Never been to
joke.
Northern California, so I wouldn't know. I've been to Southern California, but not northern.
I'll tell you that I think the traffic in Southern California probably moves better than the traffic in San Francisco. See, I'm in, I guess, northeastern California. I mean, I'm more towards the line. So when you see those pictures of, oh, you live in Northern California and it shows San Francisco and it says, no, I live in Northern California and it shows the lakes, that's closer to where I am.
Okay.
But I mean, I guess I'm only an hour away from, you know, the lakes and the mountains and stuff like that. So it's not far. But I mean, you do have to admit that the media was quick to jump on that guy and try to make him out to be a MAGA supporter.
Yeah, it's kind of their default setting.
Yeah. And AOC jumping out there, everybody jumping out there. He's a MAGA supporter until you saw a picture of where he lived. You went, nah, not a chance. Not a chance.
Yeah.
I think he was just a deranged lunatic, to tell you the truth.
A lot of them running around right now.
Well, and there's a lot of them in the Bay Area. And once again, not a joke. But hey, before I get into this, I gotta tell you this. It's very brief, this dream that I had the other night. So Aaron and I went to see a rock show. Aaron, mostly we went to see Alice Cooper.
Yes.
But the others on the list were Filter and Rob Zombie, and it was a great time. But
And that Christian band Ministry.
yeah, and this, yeah, it's so.
We're suing you now.
Yeah, you know, I purposely avoided that one, Aaron, but since you brought it up, so I know that Aaron has no idea who Ministry is.
They're not a Christian band. I know that.
Yeah, they're not a Christian band. And but they had a big cross on stage that was all lit up, and it wasn't anything blasphemous or sacrilege. It was just a big cross lit up. And I saw Aaron like grabbing his phone like he was going to take a picture or something, and I went, I hope he's not going to post this on the Rock Salt page going, look, check out the Christian band Ministry we've gone to see.
Yeah. No,
It's cool if they actually had someone dressed as Jesus building a hot rod on stage during the entire
see,
set.
now,
oh my God.
now
Marketing opportunity missed.
Yes.
you hit on it. That was the one song I wanted to see him do. They got a song called Jesus Built My Hot Rod, and they didn't play it.
What?
Yeah, right. I was
That's
a
like
little
Motorhead not playing Ace of Spades.
yeah, I was a little disappointed, but I will say, man, their drummer was amazing. I told Aaron, I went, I would just, what do you call that? Because on a guitar, it's called a lick or a riff. What do you call that when it's just a drum beat that is over and over?
It's a drum beat. It's a drum fill, a drum groove.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have Dale on here and talk drums.
You should. So, anyways, it was
That is
some
the
kind of.
number one song on Spotify. Jesus Built My Hot Rod.
It's a great song.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not suitable for us, but it's a great song.
Yeah.
I just want to love you.
Yeah, it's very it's kind of rockabilly, and it's very creative. Is that a good way to what?
Speaking of drums, Ministry actually they model their drum sound after ZZ Top's.
Did they really? I didn't know that.
That's their ideal drum sound.
Well, I turned to Aaron at one point as this guy I was watching his arms go crazy, and he was doing this techno drum beat that was I don't know how to, I don't speak musician, but it was super fast. And I went, that's something I would just put on a loop. I wouldn't sit there and play, but man, he played the whole
There probably
song.
was one.
There probably was, but still, I was impressed. But anyways, on the way down to the show, and by the way, Alice Cooper. Once Alice Cooper, Rob Zombie was on after Alice Cooper, and after Alice Cooper was over, I was like, I wouldn't be disappointed if we went home now. I mean, that was a great show right there. But anyhow, when we were driving down there, Aaron and I was trying to avoid politics because my son was in the car and he doesn't care for the politic talk. And so I tried to avoid it. And Aaron and I finally got going on politics. And I had my little rant about, Lauren Boebert. And I said, here's my feeling on the Lauren Boebert video is I did not see one child in that video. For everybody going off about their kids in the room, I didn't see one child in that video. So, and my wife even asked me, because we hadn't talked about it. She doesn't talk politics at all. She's like, well, is that an all ages, performance of Beetlejuice, or was it an adults only performance of Beetlejuice? And that was before I brought anything up. And I went, that's a good question, because I didn't see any children in the room. Not saying there wasn't, just saying I didn't see any.
There were people acting like children.
Yeah. Named Lauren. Yes. But anyways, I said to my wife, look, this video kind of makes her look hypocritical. You're not wrong. But in her defense, I will say that she has apologized. Now, if that's genuine or not, that's yet to be seen, but she did apologize. And if she does it again or something outlandish like that again, well, then, maybe we need to have a talk. But I said, the thing that I noticed in that really was she looked like a teenager in love. A teenager in love.
Or in lust.
Or in lust, yes. She just kind of threw it all out the window and she's just having fun at the show. Was it the right kind of fun? No, I probably would have been a little upset myself. But I said, we all do stupid things when we get in that mindset. And that's kind of what I think happened there. She just was kind of smitten and you could see it in her face, and she just went over the top. So I was telling Aaron, honestly, all of these politicians, I don't care which side they're on, they're all acting like a bunch of grade schoolers. If you like Russell Brand, you can't be one of us. And am I right? Am I right, P-Funk?
Pretty much spot on.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm really tired of all that. I'm like, honestly, I'd like to see you guys pass some laws. I'd like to see you do the job I paid you to do. And I'm not seeing that at the moment. But, and so while they're all going nuts about Lauren Boebert. So I had this dream about Lauren Boebert that night.
Kids, parents might let the kids go to bed.
I'll keep it as clean as possible. I dreamt that I was watching it on YouTube or something like that, because I'm known to watch these congressional hearings and everything. And Lauren Boebert showed up and it was kind of like classic burlesque type of, big poofy dress and, that sort of thing. And she quote unquote accidentally trips and falls into a senator's lap. and a Democrat quickly calls for her to be censured, and the Republicans all go nay, and I'm like, yeah, you would expect that from the Republican. She's a Republican, and then he turns, he goes, how about the Democrats? And they all go nay, and that's where I woke up.
Oh.
Okay, I guess I was the only one that thought that was funny.
Well, I'm sitting there thinking, man, you do need to avoid politics for a few days.
It was simply because we were having that conversation. So
Well, be careful when you start talking about Pelosi too much. It might take you to the dark side.
I know,
That's
I know, and she doesn't live far. She's only a couple hours away. But
Yeah.
What about
anyways,
Beetlejuice?
oh, Beetlejuice. they should have got her to be in the Lauren Boebert version of Beetlejuice that she was watching. Is she a dead ringer or what?
Who?
What's her name? From Chicago, the mayor of Chicago. She former mayor of
Lightfoot.
Chicago.
Lightfoot.
Lori
Lightfoot.
Lightfoot. Beetlejuice. Yeah.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah. All I had to say was I don't know. Look at the Republican women versus the Democrat women. And I tend to think that living a good life tends to help your appearance, maybe.
True.
Oh,
Am I- That's all I'm saying. I mean, we all know Nancy loves her bottle more than she loves her husband.
And ice cream too.
And ice cream. What is it about ice cream?
I don't know.
I have a quick, since you bring that up, I have a quick conspiracy theory. I was going to do this and I'd forgotten until just now.
Okay.
I saw a video on Facebook and I reposted it, and it was of a mother with her son and Joe Biden. The son was meeting Joe Biden. Of course, he's a little kid,
Was that where she pulls him away? Something
It's the one where Joe Biden said to him, "You are a sexy child."
Yeah, I think that you're correct.
You are
in a brown suit.
I don't remember
Because wearing a brown suit or something.
Yeah, something like that. Because the video was literally scrubbed. I could not find it anywhere.
Imagine that.
Anywhere. And I mean, it dropped from my account within 5 minutes. It was gone. And I went looking all over the internet for it, and it was nowhere to be found. And he says, "Now don't tell your mom that."
Yeah,
and,
I remember that.
And then he says to the mom, "I hope you're not recording this." And she goes, "Oh, I'm recording this." And he kind of had this "oh geez" look on his face. Let's talk conspiracy theories.
They told me
Where's
not
the
to talk
video?
to kids.
Yeah, where's the video of that?
Oh man.
Well, the one video I've yet to be able to find is that one of the Maui fire where everybody says, it was the energy directed weapon. I've seen a lot of videos, but I've never saw the one that everybody talked about.
Well, that was one of the, I sent you over a few topics and we kind of both agreed, well, the Maui thing's kind of there's not a whole lot of meat there, but I saw, and I couldn't find the video again. I saw a video of someone with a laser, this blue laser, and they had or green laser, whatever color it was, but they had a blue t-shirt, and the laser did nothing to that. And on the one side, it had a red, and on the other side, it had like a brown t-shirt. And as soon as the laser hit those, they went up. Okay.
Now, I didn't read a lot on the Maui fire, maybe like you guys have. What caused the fire?
Well, they're saying, and I did see video. I'm sorry, I cut you off there, P-Funk.
No, it's fine.
I did see video of a tree falling on a power line, and that's what they're saying happened. It was a windy day, and an old tree fell down on a power line.
Is that
There was a hurricane.
Huh?
There was a hurricane.
Yeah,
Hurricane. Okay.
Causing all the wind was a hurricane.
Okay.
So
yeah. So go ahead.
Go ahead.
no, it's fine. I mean, I've looked. I scoured the internet and I didn't. What part? Y'all know, y'all have trees in Northern California, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know how familiar, if y'all ever been around a brush fire or anything like that. Trees, live trees normally don't burn up in a fire.
Right.
They're I mean, they're like 50% water, and the
Yeah.
other percent,
So-
matter.
So the trees here in Northern Cal are dry. You know, we got a lot of redwoods and, pine trees and stuff like that. And they are dry because, if you listen to our Governor Newsom, he'll tell you it's entirely because of climate change. And if you listen to reality, you'll know that we don't clean up those forests. We don't do controlled burns. We don't do anything because it hurts the climate because climate change. So it's cyclical with that guy. Okay. And so we have PG&E out here. And if you don't know who PG&E is, go watch Aaron Brockovich. You'll find out what a reputable company they are. And they have power lines that, and this is not an exaggeration, are 100 years old. 100 years old, these towers are.
Nice.
Yeah. And Aaron, your friend Frank, he brought in a different view, which is, hey, I bet you didn't know that the California government is making PG&E jump through all these hoops to get those fixed. So they won't let them fix them. They won't let them fix the 100-year-old power lines. So what happens is when we get any wind out here, thankfully I'm not on PG&E for my power, but when we get any wind out here, they just call it what do they call it? It's not an emergency, but they shut the power off. They turn all the power off. No, it's not a rolling blackout.
They do that.
That's in the summertime also.
Yeah, when they but they do shut down different areas. And PG&E is the one that's done this now.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to be we have tried to fix these lines. We realize they are old, and because the spotted owl or whatever endangered species in the area, we don't want you affecting the natural environment. So because you to fix these lines, you got to go and bulldoze some areas.
Yeah,
to get
you're gonna have to clear some trees.
Yeah, and oh no, they can't do that. And they're like, okay, so we're just going to shut down the power now. And that's what they done. There were several times, not several, but there were a few times during the summer we had heat, and then the winds would come in and up our Highway 50. I forget what they call that area, El Dorado Hills area. They just shut down the power.
Yeah. My friend,
these are that area is very wealthy. These are not people that want to go without. And they just basically said, if you like it or not, we're just going to shut down the power.
And by the way, there's also a lot of people that have lived there for years and years and years that they're old and they can't be without electricity. And they can't be without electricity when it hits 110 degrees out here.
Yeah.
I mean, it does, and now it's not the entire summer that's 110 degrees. It's usually only like a week or two, but it becomes really unbearable unless you got a good air conditioner. And you go out you jump in your car because it's got air conditioning, and you go out seeking like Walmart or something like that, so you can be in someplace cool until it cools off a little bit. And sometimes it doesn't cool off. I mean, sometimes it's still 90 something degrees. It feels like Las Vegas. But so that's what they're doing out in Hawaii as well. They're just shutting the power off in case of a windstorm. But here's the thing that's a little different between Hawaii and California is we're high desert here in California, and Maui is tropical. The climates are different.
Yeah.
Am I right?
I hope so.
I mean, and I mean, it kind of goes to what you were saying, which is those trees are full of water, right? I mean, we got a lot of dry trees out here, but and I'm not saying that there aren't dead trees in Maui. I'm just saying, it doesn't add up to me.
I think where this conspiracy theory really got started with that was because not too long before the fire, and I was actually looking for it. There's a YouTube video that went around talking about how they were trying to turn Maui into one of the smart cities. And I'm going to, if I can drop it into chat, I'm going to send you the link.
Okay.
Because I, the long and the short of it was, it should be, to go.
Should I play this video?
No, but it's something certainly for you to watch. I posted it. Yeah, I did it
Yeah,
twice.
Maybe you can include that link when you post this up, Aaron.
Okay.
Yeah. So the gist of it, I think how it all became a conspiracy theory is just, I can't remember exactly if it was like a few weeks prior or a few months prior, they were talking about turning Maui into a smart city. And, it's one of the 15-minute cities. And ironically, Chattanooga, they're talking about turning it into kind of a smart city too. Not going over very well. We got rid of about 10 years ago, we got rid of all the cameras, said they were illegal. And now what they're trying to do is put cameras back into every intersection again. So it's going to be a fight here, but I think where that started was, they were talking about turning Maui into a smart city. And that way, the residents could have access to everything and whatnot. So I think the leap forward from that was, they burned it down so they could rebuild this smart city. Because, those residents are sitting on prime real estate.
Well, they are. And this is not a conspiracy theory. This is fact that they are telling those residents, you may not get your property back. We may take that to make, quote unquote, a memorial for the fire. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's true.
I mean, that's a definite overreach. I think,
I think that's definitely a Supreme Court fight that they'll probably lose unless there's some corruption involved.
What do they call that? Eminent domain?
Yeah.
Where the government seizes property. This is something, the voters have got to, we need to get something, a little bit more firmed up in our Constitution, apparently. Because, this is what they were fighting, our founding fathers were fighting amongst other things, but anyways. But yeah, I think that's kind of where it all kind of, springboarded into it was conspiracy, energy weapons. And I don't know if you've ever seen a transformer explode. It's quite the sight.
Yeah.
And I think there's a few videos in that link, of the fire itself, and you can see like big flashes, and I'm like, is that what everybody's talking about? And I think it's just where transformers were going up.
That's kind of what if you're gonna look at it logically, that's where I'm gonna go. It's a transformer blowing up, and those things. Think of the Death Star blowing up. Kind of looks like that.
Yeah, it was just, a very tragic series of unfortunate events. From what I could see, you only had one way out of there. They were telling people stay in their cars, and some people were complying, and the others like, we're going to die, and those are the ones that survived. And it's sad, and I'm not belittling it in any form or fashion. It is quite tragic. And again, as you said, opening, if the government would just come out and just say, well, this is what we're going to do, and they're exacerbating it. Have you seen the blue Maui roof tarps that they're doing?
Yeah.
They couldn't pick. You got all this weird conspiracy crap going on, and you couldn't find a different color tarp to put over people's houses.
Right.
You're not helping yourself, Uncle Sam. You're not helping yourself.
Well, see, and I look at a lot of these things as a money grab. And I'm going to talk about The Rock and Oprah and their quote unquote charity. It's a money grab. I'll say it right out. Because I don't got a lot to lose here. But I believe that it is a money grab, and those two are grabbing at a lot of money. The Rock and Oprah have more than enough money to rebuild that city on their own. They do. They can help those people. They can help their neighbors. They can help them. But instead, they, set up a fund and asked everybody else to fill up the coffers, so they wouldn't have to. But it's come out that they put people in place, to manage that fund. The guy at the top is making like $400,000 or $500,000 annually. $400,000 or $500,000 annually to manage a fund that's supposed to go to the people of Maui, and you're fleecing America because you got trusting people, you got little old ladies that they just want to help, so they send their last $10 off to Maui and thinking it's going to go to help some poor family, and no, it's going to help that rich family get richer. That's a money grab. That's my conspiracy theory. And it's a land grab. It's a money grab. And you're probably not wrong that they do want that 15-minute city there. I believe.
Is their CEO Sam?
Sam?
The guy from that took all the money from the Bitcoin or whatever.
That guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is his name Sam?
Yeah. What's his name? I don't remember his name, but
Dan Friedman or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my feeling on it. I think those people need to be strong. I think they need to do. This is my opinion. This is what the people of Maui need to do. There's a couple of things. Be strong. Stand up and go $700, not enough. Stand up and say, Rock and Oprah, you're not helping us. Go public with that. Say, I haven't seen one thing from any of these people. And $700 is not going to rebuild my home.
No, not in the slightest.
With the, I heard this on Joe Rogan. Do you know how much it would take, what they estimate, how much it would take to rebuild what was lost in the Maui fires? I'll go around. P-Funk, what do you think?
I thought was that on the episode with the Tulsi Gabbard and the
I believe it is.
Yeah. I think you said what, 750 million, something like that.
Oh no, it was more than that. It was more than that. Maybe it was a different episode, but
Aaron, into the billions, I would assume.
Watching that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, I saw the Tulsi Gabbard one. That's a good one. But they estimated it'd take $5 billion to totally rebuild everything. And then Rogan contrasted that by saying we accidentally sent $6 billion to Ukraine.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm a Hawaiian, I'm a little upset about that. You accidentally, quote unquote, sent $6 billion to Ukraine, but I get $700 to do as I wish. I mean, what's a gallon of milk out there? I know it's insane. Before the fires, I know it was insane. A gallon of milk was like $6, $7, something like that.
Well,
What?
that's $6-7 here.
Well, I mean, I bought a gallon this morning. 1%. It was $2.89, something like that, and that was cheap. That was cheap. Yeah, the average price was about $4 something.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah. So, but anyways, what I'm getting at is, if you take your $700 government check on down to Walmart and in Maui, you're probably getting about a half a cart full of groceries.
Yeah. No, I think the president's response was pathetic. It was almost, I mean, you could say it was a non-response, and he made it worse when he got there and he was talking about, yeah, I had a fire in my kitchen and I was worried about my secret files from the White House and my Corvette.
Yeah, I played that for a buddy, and I said, I get where he's trying to go with this. I don't give that guy any leeway, by the way. But I said, I get where he's trying to go with this. He's trying to relate. And I'm sorry, the people of Maui cannot relate to your 60-something Corvette. I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there's not any 60-something Corvettes out there because they'll rust. They'll rust within a couple of years. I don't care what you do to that car, it won't last. So there's not a lot of classic cars in Hawaii, I would assume. It's been a long time since I've been there. But I'm sorry, these people can't relate to your classic Corvette. And you had a kitchen fire. What's that?
They got to get organized now. They've got the people of Maui got to get organized.
That's my other question for the people of Maui. I would really love to ask any of them, which is, Maui's or Hawaii's a blue state, and you guys. I mean, I don't mean to sound heartless, but you guys voted for this. You voted for your $700, and so my question would be, how are you going to vote in the next election? Take out.
We might turn red after this.
Yeah, take out who might be running. It doesn't matter who's running. Are you going to vote red or blue? Because blue did nothing for you. Nothing for you. So I mean, I'm not saying red's going to do that much better, but I don't know. I'd be of the opinion of saying, well, that didn't work. Let's try something new.
Yeah. How are we doing on time? Because I definitely want to get around talking about the F-35.
Let's talk about the F-35 right now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the
before we do that, because let's talk about Russell Brand for a minute. Because
okay.
If there was anybody on the planet that saw through that mess right off the get-go, that was mostly everybody.
Right.
Like we were talking, I was like, yeah, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, everybody's like, he was once the darling, and now he's like public enemy number one, because he's actually become probably one of the top investigative journalists on the planet now.
Right.
I guess since Julian Assange is out of the picture because the governments of the world trying to snuff him out of existence. But Russell Brand, I mean, it's just like, anybody that's bucking the system seems to have sexual assault charges thrown against them pretty. I suspect Joe Rogan will probably have some next.
Here's the thing about Joe Rogan, though, is I don't think he cares. And, he just, he stood up against the cancel culture on the COVID thing and still came out on top. The dude's got the #1 podcast. I mean, think about it, though. I mean, there are major organizations running media.
But they tried with Joe, though.
This one dude.
Depend that he was doing drugs and all these other things and all that on Joe.
Yeah, but the problem is Joe is very honest about what he does.
Yeah, I understand that. And again, also, too, is Russell Brand's been known to date a lot of women. And, to me, they could get him. But on those things with Joe's married. Joe didn't date around. Pretty straightforward guy, as you said, always honest. Russell Brand is kind of like, he's had his days, but he's pretty straight and narrow. And they thought, well, let's take the best shot we can at him. Now, I don't, he says he didn't do it. We'll see.
Well, here's my opinion on Russell, which is I've always been a Russell Brand fan, because the guy speaks his truth, whatever it is. He truly believes whatever it is that he's saying. Okay. It's kind of like what I say about Bernie Sanders. I don't agree with Bernie's truth, but the dude does not flip-flop. He's the same today as he was 30 years ago. He even looks the same.
Plus 3 houses.
Yeah. Now, I do troll Bernie on Twitter, going, hey, you're into socialism. You got 3 houses. How about taking in a couple of homeless families and show everybody how well socialism works, please?
Practice what you
And
preach there, brother.
yeah, he never responds, and I don't know why.
because he doesn't
Oh.
practice what he preaches
Yeah.
in certain areas. Again, well,
Like,
you know,
like I said, I think Bernie believes what he's preaching. But I also think that Bernie knows, well, hey, if I can get this socialism thing going, I'm already on the ruling class, so it's not really going to affect me.
Yeah. Well,
But
I think everybody's seeing through from right off the bat, everybody's seeing the lies out of the whole Russell Brand thing. So
yeah, now here's what I found interesting, and I pointed out this to my son. Now, my son and I, we do not agree politically. We do tend to get in fights, so we don't talk a lot of politics because we don't agree. And we're both Scottish, and we kind of just, it's my way or the highway type thing. You know what I mean? But I do notice the coincidences, and this is what I brought up to him, was Russell came out of nowhere. He's always been there, but he suddenly got put on the pedestal after being on Bill Maher. It's like, wait, Russell's always been there, and all of a sudden he's in your face he's everywhere now.
yeah.
And I went, well, that's pretty convenient. I always thought that was odd. And
Well, it's shocking.
What's that?
It's shocking that Bill Maher has kind of come over to that side too.
Well, I like Bill Maher. I've always liked Bill Maher for the same reason, which is guy doesn't change. He's nutty about Trump, and I disagree with him on most everything that he says about Trump. But I don't disagree with him on his, views on woke politics and stuff like that. And I was just watching something with him and Jordan Peterson yesterday, and he brought it up again, which is he says the left says that I've changed. He goes, I haven't changed. They have, and it's true. He hasn't changed. The left has got crazy. So, but yeah, Russell Brand gets put on this pedestal after Bill Maher. He's on YouTube. He's on Rumble. And I watch him. I don't watch him all the time. The guy talks really, really fast. And so it's hard to keep up sometimes. But every once in a while, he's got a topic on. I watched the Tucker Carlson interview and stuff like that. And the guy's smart, and he's interesting, and he's well-read. He's got his facts. He can make his point.
The best investigative journalist.
He really has. And
yeah.
Now, you think Megyn Kelly saying something the other day will bring credence to those
what did Megyn
ladies.
Kelly say?
Well, she just said, hold your horses, because a lot of people were like, yeah, this is probably fake and phony.
Huh?
The left is going after him because he's not one of them anymore, even though he just didn't go to crazy town with them all.
Right.
And she said, some of these things could be credible and all that. And again, I haven't looked into it. First, when I heard about this on Twitter, I was like, this is a hit piece.
Yeah.
They don't like him anymore. Now, again, I don't want to call these ladies liars. This will play itself out. We're going to see what happens. But this, to me, off the top of my head, seems like a hit piece on a guy that is starting to turn on those who have gone to crazy town.
Yeah. And now Russell Brand is not a Republican. He's an independent, and he'll tell you that. And then at the same time, he's digging up dirt. And then this is what I found interesting was every time they use let me preface this. If he did something, he needs to be held accountable. Okay.
Sure.
Amen.
He needs to be held accountable for sure. But my question, this is where I raise my hand. My question is, hey, how come every time there's sexual assault allegations, it's from 30 years ago? I mean, pick your name, Brett Kavanaugh, Kevin Spacey, pick your person. It's from 30 something years ago, 20, 30 years ago. And what I said to my son was, you know what was going on 20, 30 years ago in Russell Brand's life? That dude was out of his mind on drugs and alcohol. Out of his mind. He'll tell you he was. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm not defending him. I'm just saying, let's look at the mindset when people are on drugs and alcohol. They do things they wouldn't normally do, and they don't remember a lot of things that they do. It's not a defense. I ain't defending him on it. I'm just saying you got to look at this thing logically. And I'm sorry. This is where I start to respect people like Rose McGowan, because I don't respect people like Ashley Judd, where she was, Harvey Weinstein, he's the greatest man ever, until a whole bunch of people got together. And then she came out and went, Harvey Weinstein's the worst person ever. And I went, well, you had the power. You had the voice. You could have said something. You had a bigger voice than Rose McGowan did. You could have said something back then and saved a whole lot of people, but you didn't. You chose to save career. You chose to save your career instead. So you're not a hero. You're not a hero.
Yeah, we'll just see where that plays out. Now we're going to get to our third, topic or whatever.
Let me
the F-35 or
can I? I want to play this news clip from NBC if you don't mind, because it kind of gives all the details on it, and then we can. It's not conspiracy theory related or anything. It's just the details of the case. It's got a 9/11 call in it. Yeah. So
when I saw that on Twitter, I was like, this is a joke. This is like a parody.
Yeah.
This isn't funny. And then it was real.
Yeah. Here's the NBC News with the dude from Sacramento.
Okay.
What's his name? Brian? No. Who is this guy? Tell me what his name is. You'll know him. Okay. I can't think of his name. Brian Holt? Is that his name?
That could be it. Go ahead.
Okay, there's the clip. Kind of gives you an update, and it rolled right into a commercial there. But I want to start this out by saying I'm part of an Air Force family. My dad was in the Air Force. He was a officer in the Air Force, part of Strategic Air Command, and I grew up on a SAC base. And I'm going to tell you, I wish he was here today, because I'd be interviewing him. I don't buy any of this story. Any of this story. I don't believe that now I said it earlier with, all you had to do was release the tapes of Pelosi, but I don't believe that if you got an investigation into a missing fighter jet, that you quickly release the 9/11 call from the pilot. I think you keep all of that safe for the investigation. What's your opinion?
Well, it is all very suspect. First of all, I think the one everybody's like, we can't track this multi-million-dollar plane.
Well, it's very stealth. It's a stealth jet,
GPS on my car. They know where my car is.
It
did not cost several $1 million.
Everybody was going, couldn't we just get some Apple AirTags on these jets?
It's like, come on now. I mean, it is just bizarre.
Yeah.
It is just absolutely bizarre. And, this is not Malaysian flight 370.
Which that's a whole other conspiracy theory. Where is that plane?
Yeah. But, it kind of reeks of the same thing. Transponder, black box, there's all kinds of, why,
Now, I'm not a pilot or anything like that, but I do believe that the transponder is not something you can just turn off. It's on unless the thing's damaged. I believe. I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm not a pilot myself, but there's just so many things. I don't know where to begin on all this.
Well, let's begin. Let's begin with, dude, where's my plane?
Yeah.
I mean, they put out how embarrassing as a country. I'm embarrassed. Okay. You put out like a radio commercial or something. If you happen to see our jet, here's a number you could call. What? Are you kidding me?
So, all right. So, the pilot ejected, right?
Right.
So we believe that the pilot ejected. So in order for him to eject from that plane, there has to be a certain criteria for him to eject.
Right.
So I'm not going to break all that down. Everybody can go read it for themselves. So what was the criteria for him to say, I'm outie? Because, it's not, it's not a light decision to make when you're moving at that highest speed and that altitude. Even though today our technology is far better for pilots, because usually after you eject, you pretty much, in the olden days, you wrecked your body. You were done. You're not flying anymore. So nowadays, and considering this is our most technical advanced fighter, it's not as a career ender as it once was. But what were the real conditions for him to say, I'm out of here? So did he lose control of the plane? Was it a technical malfunction? This is, and it's not an inexpensive plane.
Yeah, it's like $100 million plane.
Yeah. So
now,
if it's a technical malfunction, you would think he would try to land it, somewhere.
Well, I think that's got to weigh heavy on him, as he's going through the thought process of, I might have to eject out of this thing is, I know what's going through his head is I'm going to have to go through a review board. I'm going to have to answer all sorts of questions. I'm going to have to know what I did wrong.
If I even survive.
Yeah. And I could kill somebody on the ground with this plane. And while I'm at it, it's $100 million or $80 million or whatever it is, but it's up there.
Yeah. So the question lies in, what are they really telling us is the reason he ejected? And no one has given us a solid answer on that.
Now, one theory I heard on the news was that, well, the most laughable theory is the one where they said, hey, he ejected due to bad weather. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is supposed to be like one of the most superior fighter jets out there, and it can't fly through a storm.
Oh, we can't fight the enemy today. It's raining.
Yeah.
You know,
War's called off due to rain.
Yeah.
Sorry.
15-mile-an-hour winds.
I have a cousin whose son is a Marine Corps, is in the Marine Corps, and he's learning to be a mechanic. And they were telling his mother was telling me, he has to learn, in order to, to work on them. They teach them how to fly them and how to crash them.
Oh, interesting.
So imagine that you're going to work, to learn. Oh, today I'm going to show you how to crash a plane. Normal people think it's kind of a bad idea, isn't it, to crash a plane? But
yeah,
he's just a mechanic. Okay, now think about it. He's like a mechanic and knows how to, crash a plane. So this again, $100 million worth of machinery there. What were the criteria? So, I mean,
That's a guy. If you're a pilot, you don't want to make mad at you.
Yeah,
The mechanic.
And again, I'm not faulting him at all.
Yeah,
I'm not faulting the pilot at all. Thank God he's alive. But
yeah, I'm not faulting the pilot
why the
either.
government why there's conspiracy theories about it, because they're not coming out with with a plausible explanation.
you think they should right away?
No,
Okay.
me personally, no.
How many months? 3 months? 6 months?
Let
What?
me tell you how I would have handled all of this if I was the guy in charge. Is I think it's indisputable that the plane or the pilot ejected, the plane crashed. I think we know all that. I think that's undisputed. And I come out and I say, look, we're doing our investigations. I don't want to even suppose what might have happened until I have the facts. This is very serious. And we do owe you an answer on this because it's your money, but right now I can't give you that answer and I'd only be speculating. So
have you ever? Yeah.
Give me 3 months, give me 6 months, whatever they think the investigation is going to take. And I'm going to come back to you with a report. This is what a good president does, by the way. I'm going to come back to you with a report, and I'm going to tell you what's going on here. Because one of the theories that I heard on the news was, and I think it's a very plausible theory, is that the plane got hacked. Somebody hacked into the computer and took over the plane. And that's why it flew another 80 miles and they didn't know where it was because the computers were hacked and that's how the transponders shut off. And that's how they didn't know where this thing was.
Yeah, that's a terrifying thought. That somebody could hack one of our most sophisticated aircrafts.
Right? Now, am I wrong? I could be wrong about this. But isn't this the fighter jet that is showcased in Maverick, the Top Gun movie, Maverick?
I haven't seen it yet. So
okay, I think it is. I think it is. Aaron's looking it up. But yeah, it's this super technical, really cool plane. Like we went to my buddy and we went to the air show. They had an air show out here yesterday. We went out to the air show yesterday, and the one in Top Gun is the Boeing FA-18EF Super Hornet. Okay, so I'm wrong about that. But we went out to the air show yesterday, and my buddy said he had seen the F-35 in action last year at the air show, and it was just doing these amazing things that you wouldn't think a plane could do.
Right.
The most logical thing that I can think of is that it was hacked. I would think, I could be wrong again, but I would think that if it was on autopilot, that, well, number one, they'd know where it was. Number two, I would think that the military would have some kind of fail-safe for an autopilot eject situation like that. And if they don't, I think they're going to get one. I just me.
Hey, P-Funk, I ask you a question. If it was hacked, would you tell us? If you were the
Well, certainly not.
okay,
Yeah,
I mean,
because
I mean, look, it's the government. They're professional liars. They
yes,
should be able to tell us something pretty quick. And here, everybody talks about they went on another 80 miles. Well, listen, guys, that thing's moving at like 230 miles an hour.
right.
Or it's moving at an outrageous speed. So the minute they start throwing out those type of details, I'm like, wait a second. This thing is 80 miles. This is like a blip,
Yeah. See, now that's what I picked up on, and I'm glad you picked up on it as well. Was it flew another 80 miles? Well, these jets run at like 200 something miles an hour, so that means like right after that dude ejected, that plane went down.
Yeah. And the scary part of it is it's, have y'all been out in Charlotte in that area or not?
No.
Yeah, it's the closer you get to the coast, the flatter it gets, but that Charlotte area is pretty mountainous in places. You're talking about really coming out of the heart, going into the heart of the Appalachians. So it's only about 6 hours from here too. So
Oh,
it's just
is it a lot like the Tennessee Smoky Mountains?
yeah, it's like 2 hours from my house.
Yeah, but I mean, is it like that too? What you're talking about, the Charlotte area?
Yeah,
Okay.
Charlotte's it's hilly. I mean,
Okay.
Californians would probably call it mountainous. But
Yes.
yeah.
It's the hills.
Well, the video that I played from NBC, it had a picture of the landing area, which
I got something to say when you're done talking about that.
could be real. I would just think that the burn area would be a bit larger. But what I was going to say was, Aaron, it looked like Tahoe.
Okay.
As far as forest goes, looks like Tahoe. Lots of trees.
Well, that's what when we were driving through the Tennessee Smoky Mountains, me and Dawn, I told her this reminds me a lot of Tahoe. So
Okay.
it would be, yeah.
That's
So
what
that's how I was
that's what it
discussing
looked
with
like to
P-Funk.
me.
Okay.
So
what were you going to say,
Well,
P-Funk, about the landing spot?
Has anybody actually seen any wreckage? I haven't seen one photo of any wreckage yet.
no, I haven't either.
I haven't seen any wreckage.
I haven't either, but this is where I would go back and say I wouldn't show anything either until my investigation was done.
Well, it's not like it's a secret what it looks like. It's not like the stealth bomber. Everybody knows what it looks like. And what it reminds me of, and I hate to say this, but it kind of reminds me of when they said a plane hit the Pentagon. I never saw a wing. I never saw an engine. I never
see,
saw.
we could
See,
get
this
into
is kind
more conspiracy theories about 9/11 because I've got some, but
well, I'm just saying it. And again, tragic loss of life, not downplaying it at all, but the government does not help itself in the situation. I want to see the fighter that it's down. I want to, they can tell me you can't show it to me. That means there's something there you don't want us to see. We know what an F-35 looks like. You can go out on the internet and see it all day long.
right.
So show me a wing, show me, piece of the tail fin, show me something. But all I'm seeing is just like burnt grass, burnt weeds, bushes.
That's what I saw. And would you agree that the burn area doesn't appear to be as large as it should be?
No, not really.
It's like it's like they called in the team from Men in Black. I need a perimeter set up around here and need this and that. That's kind of what it looks like. It's just a very small burn area.
Yeah, I don't think they've shown us anything of substance.
No. And the 9/11 call is not any substance whatsoever. I question that it's even him. I question that call is even real. So,
well, again, I don't want to downplay any tragedy, but I think this one, depending on how far down the rabbit hole you want to go, what happened? What happened to it that we can't see it? Did it interact with a UAP? Did it get hacked and they were trying to take some foreign body was trying to take control of it? And if so, do our planes that are advanced have countermeasures to prevent, ways of scuttling it to prevent it from enemy capture? If y'all remember back during the Bin Laden raid, supposedly that happened in Pakistan when we went after Bin Laden, we had this highly technical, helicopter that was pretty much invisible to stealth. There was an accident and they tried to blow it up after it left. You would think after that incident, our government would at least have some form of countermeasure to dispose of deep, secret government technologies.
Well,
Just here for a second.
yeah, I go back to, I think it was hacked. You've got this completely computer run plane, and we all know that the next big war is not going to be fought on a battlefield. It's going to be fought in the computers. That's my opinion. That's why, like the military and the CIA, they're looking for computer hackers and stuff like that. These computer geniuses, because they know that China and some of those other countries, they're fighting the war right now in computer land, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Well, I think it'll certainly start there. I don't know if it will end there. I think it's definitely, I think it'll begin there.
I think it ends with the Clone War, actually.
Well, there's that. I mean, I don't know if y'all follow me on Facebook or not. My private profile, I don't have that many people that I let see it, but I mean, truth be told, everybody, all the major governments around the world are preparing for the next global conflict. It's happening. And it's a scary, scary thought to think that one of our planes might be susceptible to a hack job, like some hacker taking control of it.
Right.
I mean, that would completely render us, neutered.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be beyond the realm of possibility that, all that someone out in China had to do was give Joe Biden or Hunter Biden a few $1 million and he would have handed it over to him.
Or the government basically set out to hack this plane while it was in the air, and they were able to hack it.
For what reason?
Well, to see if we could do it, if it could be still hacked.
Yeah, but I don't think you just crash a $100 million jet to see if you can hack the plane.
I understand that, and the mission went wrong. The mission went wrong, and there we go with the fake 911 call and all these other things to cover what we were actually doing. Part of me thinks that we don't have any secrets from any of our foreign countries around. That they're just whatever Joe's telling them, they're just confirming what they already know. If Joe's telling them different things.
Well, we know it's not Joe telling anybody anything.
Well, that's true.
He can barely form a sentence.
That would be true. Like this.
Well, it depends on how deep of three-dimensional chess you really want to play. Because you got to remember, we have intelligence and we have counterintelligence. So, I mean, wouldn't you think, that we would probably put some false information out there or put something out there in a means of fooling the enemy, saying, "Oh, we can do this." I don't know if you ever saw the movie Terminator Salvation. It's a great storyline where they basically they get this signal that can shut down all the machines. And so they try to beat Skynet by broadcasting the signal worldwide. Well, when they start broadcasting it worldwide, what do? They give away their positions. They come and attack them and wipe them out. Mm-hmm. So if you want to think that our government's playing that 3D of chess, putting out, leaving holes into an advanced aircraft so the Chinese think, oh, we can hack their systems when we go to take Taiwan, and they don't work. I mean, it all depends how far down the rabbit hole you really want to go to think about as far as intelligence, counterintelligence, and that kind of a thing. But, this one is a dangerous game to play over a heavily populated civilian center, you know.
Is it pretty populated out there?
Oh yeah, Charlotte. Yeah, Charlotte's
Okay.
pretty well spread out.
Okay.
So,
Well, I didn't see Terminator Salvation because as far as I'm concerned, 1 and 2 are the only ones that kind of matter. But it's not bad. Is that the one where Schwarzenegger came back?
No, he was CGI'd. He was governor at the time. It's the one with Christian Bale, and I can't think of the other guy's name.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I did see that storyline though in Mars Attacks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same storyline. Am I right?
And if you do want to watch something pretty recent about the military, the guy Sheridan that does that started the Yellowstone put out a series called The Lioness.
Okay.
And it's a really good series. It's on Paramount Plus. It's a really good series on how the military works. And I kept saying to myself during this whole thing, wow, if this is really, like one guy says in the boardroom, I have more clearance than the president of the United States on security matters. And I'll turn to my wife and go, if that's true, something is wrong.
Yeah, but it is true to a point. I mean, I haven't seen the show, but I mean, they do keep things from the president.
Yes.
We know that.
Plausible deniability.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think that's the biggest reason.
Yeah. So.
I think there's also a bit of security to it. And, I don't know that I have a problem with that so much. I think that would be a case by case thing for me.
But check it out, everybody. If you're listening and looking for a good show, it's not for everybody. There is some language and everything. But if you want to know how our military operates in secret missions, it's a very good show. And I think it's somewhat realistic. The Lioness on Paramount Plus.
I'm going to recommend another show. I'm going to recommend a couple of things.
Go ahead.
Number one, if y'all have Tubi, Tubi,
yeah, that's great.
Free. There's a series on there called While We All Die or something like that.
Okay.
It's kind of a little left leaning. They're pretty hard on Trump, but they're kind of hard on everybody. It talks about the continuity of government. And if you know what continuity of government is, it's basically the government keeps operating while the rest of us are either dying in nuclear holocaust or basically how they're going to preserve the government while the rest of us die. Yeah.
Interesting.
And then one YouTube series that I've fallen in love with, it's called The Y-Files.
I was just going to bring up The Y-Files. If you like conspiracy theories, that's my go-to. I don't know the dude's name. I forgot his name, but I like watching The Y-Files.
Okay.
And what's his name? Hecklefish. And what's the guy's name? The guy's name, though?
It's Jay.
Jay?
It's Jay something.
Yeah. He's very likable, by the way. And it's The Y-Files spelled WHY. Because I went, when I heard about it, I went actually, because I was thinking it's like the X-Files. So I just was looking for the letter Y and I couldn't find it. But yeah, if you haven't heard
for my Hecklefish stickers.
Oh, you got Hecklefish stickers? Are you
got some of the merch? The merch is great. I love it.
And
I wear my conspiracy theorist t-shirt. So
I was actually thinking, man, I kind of like to get him on for a show. I don't know if he'd do it. I might have to send him a little money to do it, but he would be awesome to get on the show. I mean,
no, it's good.
He's an average guy.
Yeah, it's a good show. It's sad that we have to sit here and question the motives of our own government like this.
Well, but honestly, I kind of think that it's always been this way. It's just we're more connected now than we ever were before. And we've, you talk about the government having their cameras everywhere. Well, so do we. We have our own cameras everywhere, and we're seeing a lot of stuff that we wouldn't normally see. So something tells me that it's always been like this. We're just pulling back the curtain now.
We're just to become aware of it.
Yeah. We're becoming woke.
Or we're waking up.
Yeah.
Whatever way.
Yeah. However you want to go about it. I want to do another one of these shows. We should do these every couple of months or so. Those are fun.
That would be great. As we wrap this up, P-Funk, you're in a band, Faith Head. What do you guys got going on? Anything?
Well, we do actually. We got a lot going on. Unfortunately, it's all been kind of under wraps. We're actually working on a new album, and of course, we've been saying that since 2020, and it's really happening this time. I promise. It's going to pick up kind of where Genesis left off. I'm not entitled to say much. I'm hoping we will have a new single out probably in the next couple of months. We're trying to wrap up one of the first songs. We've got 2 or 3 that we've started tracking, and we're just kind of going through it right now. But I mean, there's some people that are really going to hate it because we're gonna tackle just about every topic. Transgenderism. We're gonna talk about atheism and whole slew of issues. The demonic. Like I said, it's gonna be a pretty doomy, dark, and very heavy album. So I'm hoping that we'll get a single out, hopefully here, maybe by the end of October, maybe by Thanksgiving. It's taken us a little bit longer than I would have liked. Time is always a factor when you're trying to coordinate 4 other people's schedules. So, but yeah, we've pretty much been silent for the last year and a half, but it's not that things weren't happening. It's just, it's all just finally kind of coming together. So hopefully next year, sometime after the first of the year, maybe we'll have an album out by then, but hopefully we'll be releasing a single before the end of the year. So,
well, I'm waiting for the call. I'm ready to lay down my slide guitar tracks or
oh, dude, that's what we're needing right now. So you just
cowbell or triangle, whatever you need me to do.
Just record it and send it on.
He'll drop it right in the dumpster.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You never know. So people have sent me stuff that we've dropped right in the middle of the album. They're like, I can't believe you did that.
No, well, I just figured maybe it'd end up in a field in Charlotte. I can't find it.
Oh,
call 911.
All right.
maybe we got to do a fake 911 call, Dave, and he'll throw that in the album.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate you having me. And
yeah,
we've kind of been all over the place, but I mean, it's a scary world that we're in right now.
Yeah, it really is a crazy mixed up world at the moment.
At least I know who's in control. You know,
Joe Biden.
No,
I have to ask.
Well,
I got to ask you guys a question.
Go ahead.
I want to, of course, Tennessee is a red state. I wanted to know if y'all are getting the same kind of ads that we're getting here. So we're seeing a lot of, Trump did a lot for us back when he was president, but after 2020, he's become obsessed and it's all about him. If we nominate Donald Trump, Joe Biden wins, and we can't handle another 4 years of Joe Biden. Are you seeing those type of ads out there in California?
I haven't seen that, but
not at all.
Newsom is running hard out here. I mean, for all the times he's out there going, I'm not running for president. That dude is running for president. And if he's not running for president, I want some of my tax money back because you're doing that on the clock, brother. And I want you, I'm paying you to run California and you're floating all over the country campaigning. And I can't figure out what you're doing it for if you ain't doing it to run for president. Let me leave you with this conspiracy theory. This is my conspiracy theory, just as because I never vote early. Yeah, I never vote early because everything changes from day to day. But if you were to ask me today what the plan is, this is my conspiracy theory. Biden runs with Newsom. He kicks Kamala to the curb. Biden runs with Newsom. He wins against Trump. And then retires or they force him out. And we get Newsom by default as president because that dude wants to be president bad.
Yeah, well, haven't. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying it's certainly possible. The question is do you really think we have a Republican candidate that's legitimately going to be able to win other than Trump?
Well,
I think if DeSantis is nominated, he wins.
Yeah,
he wins big.
What
he's done in Florida, he'll, the only thing he has to clean up a little bit is he's a little dry sometimes on stage. But he means what he says and he does what he says.
Let me tell you
And
why I
so,
like.
let
Let me tell you why I like DeSantis, and I'm looking forward to the next debate. But I would love to see, by the way, and I know Aaron doesn't agree with me on this one. I know there's some faults to this guy, but I would love to see like a if it's going to be Trump, I'd love to see Trump and Ramaswamy. If it's going to be DeSantis, I'd like to see a DeSantis Ramaswamy, although it probably ends up being that other Nikki Haley gal. I don't like her. But what I saw in the debates, this is what I saw out of DeSantis, and it's what I've said for years that I want out of a politician. If you go back and watch it, he never points the finger at any other politician. He just sits there and goes, this is what I've done, and this is what I can do. And I love that. And that's what we need. I need a guy who doesn't act like it's grade school, pointing a finger at everybody else, just gets in there and says, we're going to do this. I need President Harrison Ford from Air Force One. That's the guy I want for president.
So
anyhow.
Yep.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm
thank
just
you for
curious.
joining. Go ahead.
No, I was just curious if y'all are seeing the same political ads that I am here in the South.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're trying to poison the well.
Yeah.
So,
Hey,
all right.
thank you for joining us.
Yeah, let's do one of these again in a couple of months. This is we'll be a little more focused. I just kind of threw this together. But
It's fun. I mean, it's fun. Anytime, but I don't consider myself a conspiracy theorist.
no, I don't consider myself a conspiracy theorist either. But I do like your views on some of the conspiracy theories. Is that a safe way to say it? No, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to
I mean-
label you as a conspiracy. You're not the rock salt resident conspiracy theorist.
No, I consider myself to be a conspiracy therapist. I feel like it all needs to be talked out. We need to all get together, talk about our feelings, and lay out all the facts
In a
and-
safe space.
Well, not necessarily that. Of course, I think
With
you
a
guys
case of
run-
Bud Light.
Yeah, exactly. I think y'all all subscribed to my my Substack that I've
Yes.
been writing about.
Yep.
Okay.
No, I don't do Substack. I've never been on there. I don't do it.
You can just
I
sign
am-
up
I
for
am.
the email and get the email.
I'll talk to you more about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
tell you. And it's not it's a I've got to cut the social media something, I've got to cut it at some point, and I hear about Substack. I don't know how it works, but I hear that everybody's got to subscribe and stuff, and I'm just not willing to pay. So if it's a pay
Well,
thing,
mine's free, so you don't have to
Okay.
worry about it.
oh, all right. Well, that might entice me a little.
I'm a
But
cheap date.
that, by the way, going back to the Joe Rogan Tulsi Gabbard interview, they had on another guy. I don't know that guy's name, BJ something. And he said this: conspiracy theory is just another way of saying spoiler alert.
Right.
So, all
Well,
right.
it's just like with Maui. We're just gonna have to see what happens in the next 6 months, whether it's true or not.
Yeah. We'll see if they rob these people of their land. It's like we haven't learned from history. All right. P Funk, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you guys. It's
All
always a pleasure.
Yep. Thank you.
And with that, I say happy trails.
Happy trails, everybody.